Do you want to start talking about Ayakashi Triangle?
I do want to talk about Ayakashi Triangle. How did you know?
I mean, we're here for some reason. I don't know.
We had to read this on the Manga Plus website. It is too hot for Shonen Jump, I think.
The first chapter wasn't too hot for Shonen Jump, so I guess it gets pretty steamy.
Ayakashi Triangle is by an artist called Kentaro Yabuki, and he's most popular for being the artist for To Love Ru, which is a series I've read before, I've checked out. I'm a fan of ecchi manga, but To Love Ru just didn't really hit it for me, I don't know. But this surprised me. Momo, I don't think you know this. This is the same artist as Black Cat.
Oh. So he made all of those?
Yes.
But I like Black Cat.
That's for voting for your take on Ayakashi Triangle.
No, actually, I was kind of fine with this one, but I like Black Cat.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that too, just because I had never made the connection that they were the same artist. We're both really big fans of Black Cat. It was one of our favorite shonens growing up. Before this, he was working on the Darling in the Franxx manga, which was the manga adaptation of the Trigger show. I like a lot of what this guy does, and I want to read more of his works, but we'll see. So in this series, we are introduced to Matsuri, the exorcist ninja, and Suzu, the
spiritual medium.
And because of that, they refer to them as Ayakashi. I think they're just yokai, are attracted to her magic. So we've kind of got this cute girl in danger and then tough guy who protects her, who then gets turned into a cute girl.
That came out of nowhere for me, left field. I knew nothing about it going in. And then Gender Bender no Jutsu, what?
Were you intrigued?
No, I was still just kind of like, oh, okay. Well, there's got to be a story here somewhere, and here it is.
I think I can explain why that it left you with such a moot reaction.
A very lukewarm.
Yeah. And I think it's because in this first chapter, we're introduced to these two characters, and they are already established as childhood friends who both like each other, who are both sexually interested in each other, and that's just kind of that. I found it very surprising that they really laid flat their whole relationship, especially that the girl's just into him too. So there wasn't much romantic or dramatic tension there. I feel like also the boy, Matsuri, he's shown as such a competent ninja. It is a little bit hard to get worried for her because he's just already so stylish and powerful and cool that you're like, he's probably got this, right? She's not in any danger.
And so they had to make the drama somewhere.
That whole scene was really funny. This story follows Suzu trying to protect/befriend a cat Ayakashi called Shirogane. It turns out that Shirogane is really powerful and he's going to attack her. And right before Shirogane escapes, he thinks to himself like, oh, I'm so mad at these kids. This will really show them. They think they're so lucky and young and in love. I'll just turn him into a girl and that'll ruin it. And you're like, why would it ruin it?
Yeah, I don't know. He was just a jealous cat. He didn't like how horny these teenagers were. Not on my watch.
But why would turning him into a girl, hold any of that up?
Suzu ain't gay. Suzu is a heterosexual woman. Uninterested in other young, sexy children. Because they are children, aren't they? Whoops.
I guess they are high schoolers, yeah.
Yeah, they just entered high school, so they're probably 15. And they're talking about how thick her thighs are.
She is a thighs girl.
Because of all the donuts she eats.
Her design reminded me a lot of Rika from SSSS. I tried to say 4S's there, Gridman, which was another Trigger show. Trigger's come up twice. Yeah, so Suzu's a thigh girl. I really hated the weird candies that were tacked onto her sweater.
I know. I didn't understand what that was. They were just decoration, right?
That was the thing. Is there a chance that it's real candy and it's just sitting there melting on her dress all day?
No. I'm telling myself it was just decoration. Stop. They're not real. The candies on Suzu's dress aren't real. Yeah, it was pretty distracting for no reason.
She is cute though, and if the series is anything like To Love Ru, I'm sure there will be many wacky, sexy situations between her and Femme Matsuri. Are there going to be other characters? I'm so confused about the direction of the story. I feel like there's not enough building blocks for like a true story.
Yeah. I was also confused. It seemed like his personality changed at the last couple panels where they were going to school and he was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess we just didn't see enough of his personality to begin with, but it seems like a different person. I also don't like the white hair. I think it's really ugly and I don't like her hair at all.
We've got 3 colors to work with.
They should have given him white hair to begin with then. Why would it change? Frustrating.
I guess my final thoughts before we just stop talking about Ayakashi Triangle, potentially forever,
Yeah.
is that I really like the gender swap tattoo that was on her womb, his womb stomach.
It reminded me of Naruto. The seal.
Everything reminds you of Naruto. It's a real problem.
I mean, does it? I feel like everything reminds you of Naruto.
Oh, we're gonna make a video about this. And I'm gonna open it explaining how many times I've had to edit out references to Naruto in our videos. And then I guess the only other point that I have to make is that there was this really awkward scene where she was petting the Shirogane yokai, the little cat yokai.
Squishing his little marshmallow body.
It's supposed to be her fingers with energy pouring off of it like wax from a candle. That was the image that it was used. But it just looks like she's erotically touching the cat, which she was. That was the joke. I know this scene was weird on so many levels. First of all, comparing her to a candle, which I get as an image, but the illustration was strange and not that sexy. There's that picture of the cat's face and then her fingers, and it looks like she's squishing that cat in an inappropriate manner. Anyways, I'm a really big fan of the genderbender genre, I guess I'll say. I was trying to think of what my favorites were. Definitely Boku Girl. That's my favorite genderbender series of all time, probably, with a close second to Your and My Secret, which is a more shoujo take on it.
What about that one where they take the face?
Oh my goodness, Pretty Face.
His delinquent face.
Ooh, Pretty Face should be up there. Yeah, that one was great.
Because that one's beyond gender swap. It wasn't a gender swap, you know? It was just his face and his breasts. It's been a while since I read that. I kind of want to go back and see what it was about.
When comparing this to like other genderbender manga, in other ones there's definitely more romantic tension, just sort of setting them up as 2 characters who are childhood friends in love with each other right off the bat was, I don't know, what do I have to hope for in their relationship?
It's interesting and different, but at the same time it ruins it.
I wouldn't call it interesting.
I just mean that it's not what you would think to do. Out of the ordinary.
Yeah, so I gave this one a 2 out of 5. Had enough going on that it wouldn't be a 1, but I don't know. It's like a weak 2 out of 5. I'm not really interested in continuing on with the series.
I was trying to give it my middle of the road again, so I put down 3. I do think it was better than Mission Yozakura Family because it was just easier to read. So I guess it gets a 3. But Kaiju number 8, on the other hand... Surprise 5 out of 5 for Momo.
Whoa, 5 out of 5? That's great.
I liked it a lot, and I had no idea this was out there, so it's so cool that I get to read this.
Yeah, we get to read it as it comes out. How wonderful. Before we hop into the story, a little bit of background on the author. So it's actually written by a female mangaka, Naoya Matsumoto.
Oh.
I know, right? And she's done 2 other works before that were both at 2 and 4 volumes. Whenever I see that in a mangaka's history, I can tell that they've been working on getting that hit, but it just hasn't happened yet. Getting up to 4 volumes is pretty good, though. By the way, her other manga look great, and I really want to read them, but I do not know if they're translated, so I will just have to check that out. But I'm with you. I thought Kaiju number 8 was great as well. Do you want to talk about the plot?
Yeah. So Kaiju are running amok in Japan. And there are some people who are taking care by killing the Kaiju. And that's the real job that everyone's thankful for, you know. And then there's people like Kafka, the main character, who are doing the thankless job of Kaiju cleanup. And he's doing the most thankless of the thankless jobs, which is intestine cleanup of the Kaiju.
There are some really great illustrations of kaiju, dead or alive, in this first chapter. And I loved how they blurred out the intestines because I've eaten intestines before, and I can imagine how gross that would be on a large scale.
Yeah, those microvilli are no longer micro. But the story reminds me a ton of Planets, where there's the glamorous jobs of being spaceship pilots, and then there's the non-glamorous job that our main characters follow, which is space garbage men, where they could have had the glamorous job. Kafka wanted this job his whole life, to be a kaiju slayer, but he just didn't cut it. It's kind of like you have to join the military, and he didn't make it past the entry. Something went wrong. I guess they didn't delve into what exactly he couldn't do well. And then Reno comes into the picture. He's this young boy who's just trying to start into the business of dealing with kaiju. But that's not his goal. His goal is to actually become kaiju killers.
One of my favorite parts of this series is that there's this great efficiency to the storytelling. I'm specifically thinking of, there's this scene of Kafka going back home. So after his first day of work that you're shown, he just drank a ton of beer. You can see in the background that he's just sitting in front of his TV in like a 1-bedroom apartment. You really get this sense that he just has given up at this point. And you see a flashback to him talking with his childhood friend Mina about how they both dreamed about being kaiju killers. He's so dissatisfied with his life, but he's also become reluctant to change. Like, he's just accepted that his life isn't going to be this grand spectacle that he thought it was. This was only 4 pages of manga, but the amount of storytelling in there where you get to see his living conditions, the way that he feels about work, a flashback to his childhood friend and this dramatic relationship with her, who his childhood friend Mina did become a
renowned kaiju neutralizer. That's what they're called.
Just setting that all up in 4 pages was amazing. And this is repeated again with the setup for Reno.
And Reno has no respect for him having given up.
Yes, exactly. It just very quickly sets up, this is who Reno is, and this is the conflict that we have. I think that's it. So much is characterized with the other characters, so that you simultaneously get the background, the character motivations, and their dramatic relationships with the other characters all at once, that you're going. You know, you're already moving with the story.
Yeah, it really was done well. It's strange going from something like Mission Yozakura Family, where it ain't done right, and then this one's like an actual story that you can see play out. It's just nice. And then it just keeps getting better. And then there's a white tiger.
Oh my gosh, the tiger.
A tiger just shows up. You know what? It's so cool.
She just has a tiger. So the setup's out of the way, and it moves to Reno and Kafka sorting out their feelings with each other. This was also great, that it set up this character conflict, and it actually resolved it in a meaningful way. Kafka's showing Reno the ropes. He's being a disgruntled teen. But eventually Reno starts to get some respect for Kafka because he understands that he's good at his job and
how hard he works.
And I like the conclusion that they come to. The conclusion isn't like, hey, I'm really glad that you work really hard at this job. Keep at it, man. It's, why not put that effort into your real dreams? Yeah, but they end up in a big old kaiju battle.
Yeah, they're blindsided by some kaiju. And Kafka acts very heroically, tells Reno to get out of here and call for help. Very cool. And totally would have lost if it weren't for
Mina showing up with her tiger.
Yes, just a tiger. What the heck? I don't know why I find that to be so cool.
There was an endnote at the end explaining the tiger at the end of the chapter 1, and I was reading the explanation and it made no sense to me. And I'm like, I don't care. I just like the tiger.
Yeah, the tiger's just there and I'm loving it.
Kafka and Reno have come over their initial conflict with each other. For the continuing story, you still see this tension between Kafka and Mina. She looks down upon him, and you can see that she's disappointed in him for giving up.
The parallels.
The parallels.
And then, at the end, we also get a sick kaiju transformation scene. I'm into that too. And then Reno doesn't even question it. He's just on his side and he's like, let's get out of here.
The old man walks in and you're like, oh no, witnesses. Okay, so you gave this one a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna read more.
Oh, for sure. We should make another video too after we've read the next chunk, the next volume or so. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 just because the series that I've given a 5 out of 5 so far have been Chainsaw Man and Moriking, and those are top tier for me. So this wasn't like that level, but it was just below it. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. So this is fun to talk about. Up next, we're going to talk about Magu-chan and me and Roboko. That's the plan.
Dan, thanks for listening.
Yeah.